Hello there. Oh, wait, hold on. Oops, hold on 1 second. Hold on. One second. I'm sorry. I have to change my name.
What's wrong with your name? What's wrong with your name?
Nothing.
Okay.
I have.
Okay, everybody go back and watch the show. But welcome, guys. Welcome, you guys, to the Demetri K Show.
I have several aliases, put it that way. So anyway, how y'all doing today? It is the Demetri K Show, where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. Oops. Always strive to do better. I would like to say a big giant thank you and welcome to Donovan, the recovering Democrat Saadiq, also known as the Black Yul Brenner, because he's never going to grow any hair. When I say never, don't let him fool you. Talking about I can grow hair. So anyway, hello to YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. The other side of the conversation, you all are not just viewers, but you are participants, because now we share the link where you too can come on here and render a very brief opinion, right? Very brief opinion or question, and then we can go from there. Notice how I said brief. But anyway, thank y'all for being here. We'll share the link in just a minute. This came to my attention earlier today about a sister that is kind of trapped in Dubai due to something she did. And of course, we're going to get into that in just a few. So Donovan, what say you? And I will acknowledge everybody. Wait, let me do it real quick before we get started. We have on here Black America. Yep, they found, what's her name? Carly in Alabama. They said she is safe. Let's see here. Gary, how are you doing? Yep, guarding the tongue is a sermon I once heard in a mosque. Your language is a big thing in Islam. Yes, indeed. Let's see, ambitious hustler, how are you doing? Oh, I don't know. Hello, Pamela. Well, how you doing? And King of Sorrows, Monet. DJ Charisma, what's going on with you? Powerful Empress, hello. And Red Ninja, how are you doing? And J Bubba, how you doing? And Perk 10. Jan Michael, how you doing? All right, Donovan, what's on your mind, brother?
Well, what's on my mind is welcome. Sorry about the snafu that Demetri just started there. She wants to change things. I don't know what site she's on or what debate circle she's in, but I'm gonna find out. But anyway, do us a favor, absolutely free. It doesn't cost you one penny. It is very hot. It's triple digits here in Southern California. It is triple digits in Texas and across most of the Midwest as we go ahead. So if Demetri or myself happen to fade out, rolling blackouts, as you guys know, have no fear. We're charging our cell phones. We will be back on the cell phone. So hopefully that won't happen. Triple digits here in Southern California. But do us a favor, absolutely free. Hit that like button on your way in, and then do us a favor, share on your platforms, because maybe there's a cousin or somebody that hasn't seen the show or hasn't thought about this subject and wants to kind of chime in and kind of do that and do all that other good stuff. Also, subscribe and become a member. That way you will be notified when Demetri drops videos, not only on her channel, but also on the African Diaspora News channel with brother Philip Scott. So this is going to be interesting. Demetri has a little experience with this, going to other countries and not following the damn rules. So let's hear what you guys have got to say.
All right. So hello to everybody that came on here. Common Man 80, you came on time today. All right. So I don't know if you guys have seen it. It was news to me as of earlier today. Somebody enlightened me about what was going on. And so I said, that sounds like a good subject for why, I don't know, but I guess we'll find out. So anyway, there's a sister that went to Dubai, and she is now detained there, and she's been there for 2 months. And I'm going to show you guys a video so we can get a little bit more context. Hello, Freddie B and King Lion Crown. What's going on with you? All right, so let me get it for you, and hopefully everything works out just fine. All right, here we go.
Months are described as terrifying for a Houston woman who we're told is being detained in Dubai. Fox 26's Domly Keith joining us live near downtown Houston with why she's being held. Domly.
Well, the crime she's charged with may surprise you, and Dubai is increasingly becoming a vacation spot for a number of Houston women. One who's there right now, according to her social media page, is trying to get back to the Bayou City, but according to her mom, her passport has been confiscated because she was charged with screaming in public.
It also could result in prison time. So it's very scary.
The trip turned terrifying for Tiara Young Allen when her mom says she was a passenger in a friend's rental car and they got into an accident there in Dubai. Tina Baxter says when her daughter went to the company to retrieve her ID, credit card, and other items left in the rental, Baxter says it did not go well.
She found out that she could only receive those items if she paid an undisclosed amount of money. She dealt with a very aggressive individual, a young man there who was screaming at her.
Baxter says her 29-year-old daughter ultimately yelled back at the rental car agent, she says resulting in her being charged for screaming there in Dubai.
And so she is in jail for one reason and one reason alone. She raised her voice. In that country, a female is not even allowed to raise her voice. If she raises her voice, it's punishable by jail time.
It's been very emotional. There are some days I stay up all night crying.
They have a strict law system that is really based on theocracy.
This website warns, quote, laws and customs are very different, so be aware of your actions to ensure they don't offend while in United Arab Emirates. Now, after Baxter says her daughter was charged with screaming in Dubai, her passport has been taken, and the American social media influencer who works as a truck driver can't leave the UAE, according to her mom. And her mom says she's been placed under a travel ban pending the outcome of the investigation.
It's very frightening. The longer she's been there, the more reality has started to kick in.
In our opinion, she did not commit a crime. Don't punish women for doing the same thing a man can do in Dubai. It's not fair and it's not right.
Now, the 29-year-old does now have an attorney there in Dubai, and her mom says she's told that she could face jail time because there is surveillance video of her screaming. Now, we have reached out to the U.S. and the UAE embassies. Will government officials step in and give her assistance? I'm still awaiting responses. Reporting live near downtown Houston, I'm Domly Keith, Fox 26 News.
So, y'all got the gist, I would imagine. Her name is Tiara Young Allen, again from Houston. Sounds like she's also a social media influencer and a truck driver. And yeah, she's kind of found herself in a little bit of a jam there in Dubai for, again, as y'all heard, screaming in public, which is prohibited for women to do, I guess. You know, of course, we know in a lot of those countries they have different laws for men and women, and that just happens to be one of them, and there in Dubai. And so, to me, it sounds like there was a little bit of a shakedown going on. Y'all know what I mean? When a shakedown, you know, they were like, okay, well, you want your stuff, then you have to pay. Now, listen, I've traveled to different countries, and when I went to Mexico, I think it was 2008 or something like that, I got shaken down, but I was like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. It's a shakedown, right? Because what happened was, not to be brief, what happened was, I was traveling with my family. It was a lot of us to Mexico. We're going to Cabo San Lucas. And I was bringing my daughter. My daughter's father and I were not together. My daughter's like, I don't know, 8. No, maybe 10. I don't know. Nevertheless, they asked me, well, where do you have a signature or something from her father saying that she can be here? And I was like, oh, shoot, I didn't do that. So I was quick on my feet. I said, you know, I haven't seen her father in years. I don't even know where her father is, which wasn't true. And so he looks at my daughter. He says, where is your father? And I was like, oh, hell to the no, little girl. You better follow along. And she goes, I was like, shoo. So they was like, okay. He says, well, for $40, I'll let you in. Now I had two choices. I could say, hell no, I ain't giving you no $40. I said, legal. Or I could have said, that's all. Okay. here, which is what I did, right? And I went on in there, and the rest was easy peasy. I want to, just say that because that's what it appeared to me, and I'll give a little bit more opinion about it a little bit later on. But Donovan, what is your opinion? Do you want me to go to the comment section?
My opinion. Hold on, let me get my list. All right, okay. Remember, in several shows, I always talk about the ugly American syndrome. This is a prime example of the ugly American syndrome, okay? This is where we think we can go to other countries and our laws apply there. That is not the case. That's what I'm saying. All of these people who don't have a lot of travel experience, ignorance of the law is no excuse. And that goes in all these other countries. They believe that too. Just because you're American, and I mean, I was in the Seychelles and they told me, so you're an American, so what? You know what I mean? So it's just a shame when we do this, because when you get issued a passport, I don't know why people are not reading the rules of being issued a passport. You are an American representative when you go over there. You are technically an ambassador of America. Now, let me say this, Demetra, and you know this as well. In most of these countries, when you go, especially all you people that love to go to the resorts and spend money, you go on the cruises and you love to spend money. When you go on those cruises, even though the cruise is all inclusive and the resorts are all inclusive, don't you have to leave tips? Isn't it in good taste to always leave tips and do this and do that? The guy might do a little extra and fold a little, makes a little swan and puts it on top of your pillow and with a little mint. You give him a couple extra bucks. When you go out into the local economy, let's just say, right, the town, they see that you're an American, they automatically assume you have money, and they're going to do everything they can to get a few dollars off of you. So she went back to the rental car to get her things, right? Her ID, her passport, her purse, things that are important. Demetra, is $50 worth getting your stuff back because of your negligence? Isn't it worth it? I think it is.
Yeah.
And that's our big problems. But see, again, we as Americans, male, female, binary, whatever you call it, we go to these other countries and we try to treat these people as shit because we think we're Americans and we think we're going to get away with everything. We need to adopt some of those laws over there in regards to how women are supposed to speak and act and bring them over here. Just kidding. Well, not really, but just kidding. And do some of those things. But that's the ugly American syndrome everybody's talking about. When in Rome, you do as the Romans. Yes, in our country, the outcome would be different, but you're not in your country. You're in another country. So it is best to shut your mouth, listen to the instructions that they're giving to you, and you'll have a better time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say nothing just yet. I'm just continue to read you guys' comments, and I'm gonna open up the link. Lord Bison, how are you doing? Islamic law in effect. Yeah, you go over there, you got to really behave yourself, right? Hi Cube 25, how you doing? You says in the Middle Eastern countries, blacks and South Asians are treated as slaves and animals, not people. Ooh. And Jason East saying, how you doing? He says, depending on how big this gets nationally, they will let her go. If not, they will have problems out of the West. I don't know about that. Now I'll tell you in just a little bit if I remember. And Joseph, how you doing? Once again, says you can't talk to these people like you do, like you do black men. It will not end well. Common Man says you cannot scream at men in public in Dubai, point blank, period. Yep. Yes, indeed. So I'm just going to skip down to some other comments. And
you can't scream at black men in America, point blank, period. You might get a 2-piece.
Okay, Ike. Hello, Easy. He says, point well taken. That's exactly what she should have done. One who cares. How are you doing this fine evening? In facts, not feelings. How are you today? Red Ninja says, I really don't understand why Dubai is so popular with women who travel alone. Didn't they just legalize women driving?
Can I answer that question for him, Red Ninja? Or who had that question? Was that Red Ninja?
It was,
Have you heard of crappy vacations? A lot of women go over there, especially if they go over there by themselves. I'm not saying in all cases, but again, why would a woman travel to a place like Dubai by themselves? Maybe they don't want people to know what they're doing, and it might be what they call a crappy vacation. So if you follow me, you follow me. If you don't get it, I'm very sure people in the chat will tell you what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, Donovan. It's nasty. Let's see. Gary says DK is a bad travel partner. She caused trouble in Dominican Republic and Mexico. I doubt it. No, y'all want to know the real? Y'all know who's a crappy travel partner? This dude right here, okay? Let me tell y'all a story. Y'all right? It's a story time, okay? We were at LAX International Airport. We were on the tarmac in Emirates airline, right? Donovan gets his black ass up in the airplane, and he's, filming everybody in the aircraft. He's filming, and so one of the airline attendants come over and said, "Sir, you can't do that. Why not? This is a public. This is America." She says, "Sir, you cannot film on this plane. It's a private plane." "No, it's not. You can't. You can't." "I guess I can." And so I told my daughter, I said, "Don't get comfortable. Don't get comfortable. I don't think we're going to stay." So I said, dude, sit your ass down, okay? We're not going to argue with these people, regardless of where the plane is at. It was a private, it's public. Can we get off the ground good? So Donovan piped down, but I was like, we ain't even going to get to leave. So, yeah.
But let me add, though. Let me add.
Wait, before you do, I want y'all to listen closely to Donovan, okay? Listen.
Let me add this. I do concede there is a time and a place for things. But as you guys know, I'm a pilot. And when the plane, wait. As you guys know, I'm a pilot. And when in the United States, even though I was right in the law, I was not right in the place. Do you guys kind of understand what I'm saying? In the United States, when all these planes are, it's not, the plane is private, but it's open to the public. But the laws, when that plane is in our jurisdiction, because it's using our networks, it falls under our jurisdiction. So yes, I was right. I could film. That's absolutely right. There's nothing wrong with that. But would I have won the battle in the end? No, I wouldn't have won.
I just wanted y'all to listen because I thought Donovan was going to go the way with it. He did concede that he was wrong, but notice how he said, "I'm a pilot." Basically, he trying to say, I know what I'm talking about. So my thing is, what's the difference from any of these other sisters? I used to hear Kevin Samuels and a lot of y'all, "Well, I'm a PhD. I'm a PhD.
Well, the difference is here, we are still in American soil. See, now, I wouldn't have done that if, notice when we were coming back and in some of our travels, did you ever see me pick up a camera when I'm on their soil? No, because the rules are different there. The rules are different there. Did you notice that? When I was in South Africa, I never picked up a camera on the plane. Never.
But what if we would have got over there and they would have said, "See that Negro sitting way back there? Oh, yeah, he was getting funky and fresh with our airline attendants. He needs to go to jail." And those two were with him right there. Yeah, they with him. They need to go with him.
Yeah, no. Well, number one, that wouldn't have had. Well, they would have snatched us up. They would take us to a room and said, "What's happening? What's happening?" Right? Of course, I would say, "Hey, I'm an American. This is the situation. Bring the embassy guy down, whatever." And I would explain the situation. Now I'm on their soil. Oh, they said, "Oh, this happened when you're in the United States?" "Oh, okay. Well, yes, he could. But next time, sir, please make it a lot easier and just comply with the flight attendant." That's all they would have said.
Now I want to tell y'all another story, okay? When we got to the Seychelles, Donovan was having a time of it. He was traveling and, he was frustrated or whatever. And it's like,
no, I wasn't frustrated. I was frustrated with you.
You wasn't frustrated with me, brother.
Yes, I was, because Demetria's not going to tell the whole story here, you guys. I was frustrated because Demetria was about to get into a brawl.
On
the plane with the South African white woman.
What happened was the ATM was acting crazy, so it wouldn't give him the right chance. It was just a lot of stuff going on. And so we were trying to catch a cab to either, the Airbnb or whatever. And somehow him and the guy got into a little back and forth. And Donovan says, "Well, I'm an American." And when Donovan walked out, the guy told me and my daughter, "I don't care that you from America. So what? We see Americans all the time. What does that mean to me? I was like, mm-hmm.
Now notice when I walked off, he said that.
So I just want to point out to y'all good people, it ain't me.
Wait a minute. Did you guys notice that Demetra glossed over the fact that she was about to go hands-on with a white woman, a good ivory snow-smelling white woman from South Africa on the plane, and we were about to get caught up and arrested. So my senses were already heightened because I would have to defend this Black woman.
What had happened was we was coming back from Johannesburg, right? And we were stopping over at the Seychelles. Now, this white woman, from South Africa, she was sitting behind us. And when you buy an airline seat, you have the right to lean it back. So we leaned our seat back and she was like, do you have to lean it back? Do you think you can put it up? I was like, who's she talking to? So we ignored her, whatever. So she was just doing the most the whole flight. So, when you get off the plane, it's customary to let the people, go row by row. So she was just going to bulldoze past me. And I was sick of that heifer. So I politely, but very sternly ratched up in the overhead bin and snatched my bag. And it wasn't really even close to her. She goes, oh, be careful. And I was like, no, you be careful. And I got my ass off the plane. And that's what happened.
But Demetri, you forgot the poor white woman almost got hit in the head with 30 psi of force when you snatched that bag. One-handed, y'all. That bag was about 60 pounds?
Listen, next time you're back on off of me, okay? You don't need to be up on me like that. So anyway, let's get back to these comments. John Michael, it says, question, how did she come to forget such important items in the rent vehicle when traveling? Accident or not, you always keep your valuables on your person. Yeah, I mean, that is a good point. Nevertheless, she wanted it back, and he, commenced to trying to shake her down, and she should have just paid it and say, okay, I'll go home and I'll take it up with the counselor or whoever, say, hey, this is what they're doing over there. But to get into a screaming match back and forth, why? And I really felt bad for her mama because I could see the hurt in her. Like, I've been crying all night. It's like it's sad because, your daughter's over there and is she going to come back? Who knows, right? And Joe Biden don't even know his name half the time, let alone trying to get her, from over there. Let's see here. Facts Not Feeling says the U.S. government will not care much about her. Remember, the U.S. government does not really care about Blacks like that. Yeah, I should have read that comment. You're absolutely right. Ren, facts, you say. How you doing? He says, if you owe a debt, UAE can hold you until the debt is paid. Not about screaming. Well, that's what they're saying, that they held her for screaming in public, which is against the law there. Laura Bison says, so much for
women screaming in public. Men,
right.
Yeah.
All right. And Laura Bison says, so much for feminism in Dubai. You crazy. Hi, QB says, Americans are mistaken that the rest of the world is like the United States. Every country has its own rules. American rules don't work the moment they cross the borders. Yeah, you're right. You got to leave all that at home. Okay, I'm going to move down. And Easy says, D, that picture of her sitting in the truck. Do she drive trucks there? I know she drives trucks here. She's from Houston. So I guess she's a big time influencer. Sassy Trucker, I think it is. She has, a large TikTok following and maybe on YouTube as well. But Powerful Empress, you say, yes, I wouldn't do that. All right, and let me move down. And some chick named Star, how you doing? And Arson, how are you doing? Our week so well. How about yours? Big Hair, how you doing? Says, I don't, can you explain? Okay, so D26, how you doing? Says, hustling that thing. Wow, that's it. I don't know what she was doing over there. Tawana says, I don't know what Donovan is talking about. And hey, brother Don, how are you doing? LAX is terrible, but you got to catch some flights out of there to go overseas, right? Yeah, Donovan, he's a thought. He can be sometimes, Freddie. Facts Not Feeling says, so brothers, if you're looking to take a woman more seriously and she tells you about how she travels to Dubai, run from her. Right, Easy. Yeah, Donovan, he can be ghetto. Don't let him fool you. Okay, so let's see. I just wanted y'all to pay attention to that. So let me skip down. Hello, Beverly. How are you doing? Because I want to catch up. And Joseph says their law say she can get 6 years and have to pay $2,000. This is a serious charge over there. Shut up, Donovan. No, I don't be bullying nobody overseas. Don't ask me. Not me. I know how to be quiet, okay? King of Sorrow says, damn, Donovan, the worst thing you can do in another country is say you're American. Yeah, he was proud of it too. That man was like, run up then.
When I walked away, he said that. Me and him were arguing or talking in between that time. Only when Demetra and her daughter came up did he talk about, so he's an American, whatever. Why do you say that to me in my face, brother? I was right there. We could have handled that man to man. See what I'm talking about?
You say that now. Tanya, how you doing? And Chicago News 101, how you doing? You say, Demetra, you strong like 60 pounds, one hand, and Donovan's lying. I mean, I was a little mad. I was bothered that she was, it's like, I could get it. You in South Africa, and y'all white people just do what you want to do over there. But listen, I'm from the South, but Southern California, okay? And we just do things a little bit differently. You ain't gonna be talking to me and acting crazy with me like you do them people over there. And I'm like, well, who the hell gets an airplane seat and then says and listen to somebody says, you don't have to lean your seat back. Can you lean it up? Who actually acquiesced that? I was like, who the hell is she talking to?
Yeah, if she wanted all that comfort, she should have bought first class, right?
Yeah, but that told me, and I think this is why I was bothered, because that told me that she be over there acting hell of in all her milkiness, telling Negroes what to do.
Exactly. And this is where I got agitated, because I'm like, okay, Demetra's about to go scrap. It's going to be, an international incident. I'm gonna have to go get her out of jail, probably fight a few people in here myself, and just to protect this Black woman.
Now, it wasn't going to scrap. She was trying to be a Karen. Oh, be careful. Like, girl, first of all, I wasn't even nowhere near you. If I wanted to hit you, I would have, okay? But nevertheless, she won't do that again. Not to me anyway. Bloke 2029, how you doing? Says, I think a female rapper was about to be arrested for hugging a man over there, or the man warned her she could be arrested. Maybe Nicki Minaj. Oh my God. See, that's why you're supposed to just go over there and, hey, how you doing? Oh, this food tastes very wonderful. Yes, take him to the souvenirs. Oh, wonderful. Okay, thank you. I'll be back never, But some people they don't know how to act. Ashley, how are you doing? All right. So did I make it to the bottom? Oh my God. Okay, wait, almost. Hold on a second. Then I'm put the link up. And Israelite brother, how you doing? It says, when you leave this country, you can't take the West wicked ways with you. You ain't lying. Thank you so much, Tanya. We love you too. And Common Man, you say you should see how she was dressed in Dubai. She has a page on YouTube. Yeah, I saw she had a like a bathing suit or some see-through things. And I don't know if she's in the water. It sounds like maybe you can wear a bathing suit at the water. My sister went for her 50th birthday in February, and when I tell you, my sister, she was clothed. She had all her clothes on from head to toe, which you should do. You should respect other people's culture, right? Especially if you're going into their temples and things like that. They want you to dress a certain way. Dress a certain way.
Let me tell you, that picture of your sister, even though she was dressed head to toe, ooh, that shape. Just the visual of, and the woman had all clothes on. I mean, but because she's shapely like that, this is what it used to be like. Now they show you everything, and we're supposed to get excited.
Y'all want to see everything. Only Pamela's Way says, I know they have rules, but what if a bug or something, what if it's a bug or something, I'd be screaming for real. I think it wasn't the context. She was screaming or having a shouting match from what it sounded like
with a man,
and you're not supposed to do that. And now we're going to get a little bit more into it. I just want to, read y'all comments and stuff like that. But yeah, she was not supposed to do that. I have my suspicions as to what actually happened, but I'm going to save it for later on. Throughout the show, I'm gonna get down to the bottom again, and then I'm going to put the link in the comment section so y'all can come on in here. Let's see here. Common Man says her last post was when she was renting a truck, a tractor, or a truck. Okay, you said a month ago. Yeah, she's been over there for 2 months. 2 months since they said, well, actually since April, so I guess longer than that, right? Or almost. I think it was toward the end of April. Yikes. No. So she's over there in April. She's been there for almost 3 months. So, and Laura Bison says, Demetra, are you from South Central Los Angeles? Not from South Central, but I have a lot of family there. My father lived there, so I visited a lot, going back and forth with my father, but Southern California. So, yeah. Let's see here. Kelton, how you doing? He says, a K is Kelton. Oh, it says, oh, it's Kelton. I think he may say, you're looking nice today. I hope you remember me. I remember you. You're a truck driver in Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. But how are you today? All right. So let's see here. Okay. So I was right. And King Lion Crying says, I actually agree with Dubai on this one. And Big Hair says, African needs to stop bowing down to them white folks when they outnumber them. And that's what I was on, because when we was over there, I thoroughly enjoyed being in South Africa. Is one of one of my favorite places that I visited.
Mama Zulu.
Yes, one of the favorite places that I visited. The downside of that is I did not like seeing so many white people. It wasn't a lot that it was a lot of white people, but it was enough for them to think that they was running things. And I was like, this is just sickening. It really was. And so I felt a certain type of way that she thought that she was going to treat me like that. I was like, lady, you got the right and the wrong one. And Freddie, he said, you got to see my sister. Okay, I'm going to try to find a picture before we leave out of here. And I'll put it up for you.
Yeah, I picture her in Vegas in her cat suit.
No, we're not going to put that one up there. I was upset about that, okay? I didn't like that. She looked nice, but I didn't like it.
She looked very nice. Trust me.
And let's see here. Facts Not Feeling says Dubai was not so anti-black. It sounds like a place black men could do well, because women are kept in check and order is maintained in society. Well, if that's what y'all looking for, go off.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, dealing with Middle Eastern men, they think that they're white. Why do you think Jared Kushner got $2 billion and stuff? And there's a lot of black people there. They treat black-skinned people very bad in the Middle East because they think they're just some kind of different. They're Arabs, so they're different.
So go on over there. Blocka, how you doing? Says, why was she in Dubai in the first place? Sounds like she was vacationing. As they said on the news piece, that a lot of women are from Houston are going to Dubai. So I don't know what she was doing. They said vacation.
Whoa, getting that money. Go get that money.
Y'all don't know what she was doing over there. And Tanya says, learn the culture and the ways of the places before you travel. Definitely, we should have learned from what happened to Brittany Griner. Yep, yes, indeed. And Easy said, D, I hope this brought a lesson. Bought lesson is a taught lesson for her. I hope they make an example out of her. I'm saying this because of her disrespect, dressing like a 304 in a Muslim country.
See, okay, look, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. That is BS, Easy. I'm going to tell you why. You can't tell a black woman what to do. Stop talking about women's bodies. How dare you come out here and tell a woman what she do? She's independent and free. She makes her own money. She can do what she wants. How dare these countries go over there? They can walk and do what they want to do just like anybody else. How dare y'all do that? Dude, don't I sound crazy just saying that like that? This is how a lot of men in the United States, this is what we hear, and it sounds crazy to us too. But yes, she should be allowed to go over there and dress in the way she wants to go. She could be in dental floss, and she could walk down the street. A man has no right to put his hand on her. He can look, but he can't touch. We could go on and on and on all day.
Y'all know who else that sounded like? Donovan, when he was on that airplane, was getting ready to go to South Africa. You don't tell me what to do. I'm an American. We're on American soil. This is public property, and I will do what I want.
No, I was in America on Dubai Airline.
I thought if I would have closed my eyes, I'm like, I thought that was Donovan was going to Africa. It was giving me nightmares. It kind of sounded similar, Hello, Arniva. How are you doing? Okay, I put the link in the comment section. Please, when you come on here, if I don't already know who you are, did I do it yet? I thought I did. I don't know. I already know who you are. Show me your face before I bring you up to the big screen, so I can make sure that there's no shenanigans. Let's see here. And Laura Bison, you say Dubai does not care about strong, independent black women. Y'all. So okay, for those of y'all who may be a little bit lost as to what are they talking about with poop and crap, there are some women. I guess they make about $10,000 a weekend. From what I heard, by allowing some of those princes and upper echelon or rich, wealthy men in those countries go to the bathroom on them or something like that. All right.
Let me correct your point. It isn't necessarily princes. Okay, when you're dealing with the kingdom like Saudi Arabia and Dubai and these places, these people have no rights. It's a kingdom. So everything that they have is provided to them, and they get a stipend of like maybe $100,000 a year. Why do you think these people come here and they have money to open up businesses? Because everybody in the family gets money to be in the kingdom, right? Because they're citizens, stuff like that. So this is why. So it isn't necessarily a prince. It could just be a regular person, but these people get money like that, and these guys are starting to trick it off now. These younger guys are starting to trick that money off.
I don't care if it was Jesus himself. You ain't doing that to me for no amount of money. Hello, Elton. How are you doing? And Powerful Empress, you said you heard that too. Yeah, I heard it. It's very disgusting. Thank you so much. Love and appreciate you. He says, or dog. Yeah, nobody for that matter. I put the link in here. I'll put it in here again if you guys want to come on and ask a question or make a comment about what we are discussing or anything else that you find interesting. In fact, Not Feeling says that's why men shouldn't he says don't marry any woman who says she goes to Dubai by herself for trips. So my sister went with her friends. I didn't go because I had something to be doing. That's why I did not go that particular time. But yeah, it was I guess you could say it was a girls' trip type of thing. But then, you know what? While we're here,
Demetria, we've been to Dubai. That was our stopover. Remember our layover to South Africa?
Abu Dhabi.
Oh, that's right. You're right. I'm sorry.
Abu Dhabi. You often see Black women traveling by ourselves. Why is that?
Because you guys are going to go get Rent-A-Dread?
I doubt it.
but it's factual that that's what they've been doing since the 80s. So
thank you so much, Freddie B. Love and appreciate you. Jay, how you doing? It says bought opinions on the VIX like Don suggests went broke. I don't know what that is. But I put the link in. Y'all don't want to talk today? What's really going on? And Pamela says, what? Would never allow such a, no, never. Facts Not Feeling says, trying to get groove back. That's why they travel by themselves. No, not necessarily. You know what I find? Even women, sisters that have boyfriends and husbands, a lot of times they be by themselves. The men don't want to go, and I cannot figure out why. Seems like brothers don't, I don't know, y'all do travel, but for whatever reason, y'all don't like to travel as much with your significant others. I just find that very strange.
Well, some people are just okay. I'll give you an example. It's just like a lot of people down there in Houston, and they're comfortable. Like a lot of my family members, I come from two really big families in this small town in Louisiana, right? And the thing is, they're so comfortable being around their family members that, I have so many double cousins. You guys don't even want to know how many double cousins I have. But the point is, we're just indoctrinated to not move, because if you think about our parents, Demetria, and our grandparents, you couldn't move anywhere in the South at night because you got the Klan running around, and you got the what do you call those cities now? They call them twilight cities, whatever, where you can't go after night and cross through them. So, it's just
downtowns.
Yes, sundown towns. And so I think a lot of that is taught and ingrained to where you just stay put. If you're doing good, just stay put.
Ooh, Lord Bison says the passport sister movement is a failure. Well, I mean, the sister's been traveling for a while. The thing is, they just don't be talking about it like y'all got the milk and magnesia folks mad at y'all. Y'all get a passport or two, and then y'all get on here. Look at me! I took my $5 and went over to the Dominican Republic, and I went to Sasua. Oh, look what you can get over here, and y'all filming it. And the white boys is like,
the whole time I was over there telling guys, stop filming it. Don't put it up on YouTube. Stop. Yeah, it's like finding a treasure. You don't want everybody to know, like during the gold rush.
That's y'all doing that.
You don't want everybody to know that. I know. I'd be trying to tell these young Thundercats, stop giving away the gold mine.
Right. So what I'm saying, so y'all probably don't know about the sisters, because the sisters is like, that ain't your business. But y'all get a little piece of poo nanny, and y'all got to go all over the World Wide Web and tell everybody about it. Hello, Mr. Pirate Brain. How you doing today?
How you doing there, Demetria? How you doing, Donovan?
All right.
It's funny, this whole passport bro movement. When I was I was 28. I moved to Buenos Aires, Argentina, and I lived there from 1988 until 1995. I'm 61 right now. So it's amazing, this whole fame that the Passport Bro movement is getting, because I've been traveling for years, but we just wasn't filming it and bragging on it, And I think, like with that lady who went to Dubai, another thing, and this goes for men too. I'm gonna have to say that first. You got to know how to keep your mouth shut when you go to these countries, because I caught myself saying some stuff when I was in Argentina. I was like, wait a minute, I'm a guest here, even though I had been living here for so long. Somebody reminded me I was a guest there, and I didn't argue with him. I was like, yep, you know what, you're right. And that's the thing. This lady went over to Dubai not really being aware. She was so used to talking to men any old kind of way. She figured she could go over there and do the same thing, and she got caught up. And that's the thing is, we have to understand that when you leave and go to another country, you representing, and you have to represent well.
Absolutely. Brother Kelton, how are you doing? Look like you're maxing and relaxing today. How you doing? Oh, hold on. Let me unmute you. 1 second. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, well, I'm okay.
If you could turn the TV down so we can hear you, we would love it.
Okay. I'm just thinking watch TV.
All right. So what's on your mind, brother?
Not much. I was just thinking, this happening. I ain't talking about that.
Oh, you say you ain't talking about nothing?
No, I ain't talking about that.
Then what you come on here for?
I was just trying to see if I can get on.
You did.
Yeah.
So have you been following the story?
Well, to tell you the truth, no, not really. I work a lot. I be, when I'm off, I'm just relaxing. Trying to get ready for the next thing.
All right. Well, how about you go continue to relax and enjoy the rest of the show?
Okay, then I will.
All right. Thank you for coming on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. I wish I could be maxing and relaxing. I got up at like 6 o'clock and I've been going ever since, but that's my Sunday anyway. All right. So, and let me put the link back in here if you guys want to come on. So you're saying you feel like she talks like that on a regular basis, right, Mr. Piebrain?
I'm probably positive that she does. You just don't talk like that on accident. She's used to talking like that and communicating, and she went over there and got out of pocket, and they wasn't having it. And that's the thing that and I'm going to go back to something that Umar Johnson said that blew up, that went viral. He said that Black men have to take a certain type of behavior from Black women, and if you go to Africa, they're not going to take that behavior. So why is it that we have to take a certain type of behavior, but Africans are not expected to take that type of behavior? And when you go over there, you realize that they're not taking it, and you forget that they're not taking it, and you get caught up.
I will say this. It doesn't sound like Dr. Umar was saying that you all are expected to take it. In that same interview, he says, I know that, sisters are problematic, or, I'm paraphrasing, but he says, I'm not saying that they're innocent. I know that they have some issues. So he wasn't saying that you all need to put up with it. He was just asking, why are they masculine? He was, kind of giving some pushback to what the other brothers were saying. But arson, you say, notice how Demetra didn't directly deny that the women go out there to get their groove on. She just says that the men talk about their passports too much. Listen, I don't know what the sisters be doing. I ain't one of them. I don't go to the other. Listen, I ain't trying to do all of that here. So I ain't gonna go over there and and potentially get something. I'm just saying, I know that the men are doing a whole lot of talking nowadays, right? A sister, she might be going to get her little itch scratched or something like that, but she ain't all over the internet. At least I don't think she is. Like the men are. She's not like the men. She going over there and coming back, right? And she might tell it to her little homegirls when she get back, but she ain't filming the camera. Look, I'm about to go into this, the house of, break my back and get it crunk. She ain't filming the whole experience. She doing it and keeping it quiet.
No, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that because we have OnlyFans all over the damn place. It seems like you go on anybody's Twitter. Most of these females, they have an OnlyFans link on their Twitter, so they're filming it. It's just that you got to pay to see it.
There you go.
What about the women that went to Jamaica? There's videos I got in my timeline where they was using trash bags as condoms.
Bags, exactly.
See, I ain't seen none of that. Okay, I don't know what y'all talking about.
Yeah. You look it up. Look it up.
Come on, Demetra.
I have not. I keep seeing y'all say Umar is anti-black. What is that about? I don't know what that's about. Facts Not Feeling says, I disagree with speaker about passport brothers. Passport brothers are forcing black women in the U.S. to be better women or else lose their backup plan to a sexy, fine African, Asian, and Latin woman. Do you? That's all I can say. And I don't say it begrudgingly. I'm saying I think everybody should go where they find happiness. If it ain't with a sister over here, then maybe it's with somebody else's woman. I don't know. Good luck. Tisha, how you doing? Says, I've been to Dubai as a woman. We have to be respectful. No cursing. No cussing, no drinking, no PDAs, etc. in public. Yeah, like go like you got some sense, right? You shouldn't even be doing all that over here. But somehow, people think they can go to other countries and just do what they want. Can you imagine if those sisters that was twerking in Ghana, if they were doing that in Dubai, then they'd be like, y'all need to help us get home. We need to be free. All they doing us wrong up over here. Like, Black America, what's on your mind today? I'm scared. You there?
It's like the mic is off.
Mike.
Your mic is off, Black America. Maybe he's busy. He'll speak when he has an opportunity. We'll see. And Maxwell says maybe.
Hello, is that it?
Yes.
There you
go. All right. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon and good evening. Hello to everybody in the chat. What it do? I just have one question. Ms. D, do you know what's going on out here with these young ladies?
To some degree, but do you want to expound upon that?
You are blind to what these women are doing. You act like and you are not stupid. We are both of a certain age. I came up to grill your ass. You are giving these broads so much leeway, and so you don't know that these women is going over here sucking on camels' dicks for $50,000 and eating poop.
Okay, can I ask
eating
you
poop? It's all over the internet, hon.
But wait a minute. But why would I know that? That ain't something I go looking for.
Because it's all over the internet. You don't even have to look for it.
I don't.
It's all over.
Like I think though.
Okay, even if you're not on the internet like you think, it's all over the internet.
Women got two girls, one cup.
Now, I heard of that back in the day. Now I've heard of that.
They've done newscasts on it in local areas and stuff that talking about the experiences.
These women are going to Jamaica, getting on those bamboo rafts and having people go meat to meat, sticking it in. Can you just grab a plastic bag right quick? It's all over the internet. Like
I don't,
it's
honestly.
it's getting filmed live action all over the internet. I don't you are I already know you a feminist. That's fine. That's fine with me.
Wait.
That's fine with me.
Wait,
The
hold up.
women are way worse than the men
Hold
online.
up.
But I
Hold up.
but but
Wait.
but I want you to look and see what these women are actually doing so you
I
can be
don't
like,
want to see.
you know, so don't close your eyes to it. If a brother says something,
I didn't say.
if
Wait. Hold
all right,
on.
all right.
I didn't say they wasn't doing it. I just said I haven't seen it. And so I never once did they say they weren't doing it. I in fact said I don't know what they're doing. That's what I said. I didn't deny it. Because I don't know what those women do when they go over there. Because you know why? I ain't with them. Now I have not seen. I've heard of women getting paid like $10,000 to allow people to do that to them. But all that other stuff y'all talking about, I have not seen that. And yes, Mr. Pybrand, I've heard of two men or women in one cup back in the day, like 2030. I've heard of that before. But I don't be on the internet like that to be, or maybe I don't hang out in those spaces to where I would see that kind of stuff. Does it make sense? So I'm not denying it. I'm just saying that I have not seen it. And thank God.
But it was just funny because you said that the men are filming it, bragging about it, but you didn't notice that the women were doing it. That's the thing.
Well, you know why? Because I have not seen the women talking about, I was over here and I was getting some, or whatever the case is, like the men. I have not seen any woman talk, and that's just my experience. I have not seen any woman with a YouTube channel talking about she was traveling over here and, getting her back broke. I have not seen that, but I've seen the men. I mean, come on. Y'all know there's a whole, I guess, YouTube space and internet space dedicated to the passport bro movement. And admittedly, some of the passport bros are not doing it right. Because as we've said, a lot of the white men and some of the brothers, they've been doing, it's not new, is these young cats that, got a little money and traveled somewhere for the first time in their life outside of the city they live in. And now they got it all over the internet. So that's what I'm saying. My experience is, I didn't say the women were not doing it.
Women have been passport cis since what year was that? 1993, 94?
No, actually it was before that. Remember in the video Raw? Eddie Murphy, he was talking about me and my girls we gonna go to Jamaica. Remember that?
Oh,
that
yeah.
So that was way before that.
So let's call it 92 to be safe. So passport cis has been going on for quite a while. But to your credit, you made a good point. Those women keep their mouth closed about it. The German women keep their mouth closed about it. The Swedish, see, me and Donovan, I don't know about everybody else, but we traveled. Donovan did it through military. I did it through music. We have seen the zoophilia. We have seen BJs on the dance floor. Overseas, this stuff is super, super, super normal. Black Americans are the ones who are fascinated because even the white Americans know that they cousins, business co-workers, they go to the Wall Street parties. They know what it is. All that Illuminati stuff we talk about, that's normal for them. Look at this Adam 22 thing with his wife. That's normal. The guy was a porn star before he even met his wife. But when you look on YouTube and see these childish black guys, they think, oh, I'm going to shame him and get a win. No. You're going to be in the echo chamber, and other guys who are like you that don't know this go on is going to pat you on the back. So I'm going to end by saying, Demetria, this goes on with women far more than guys. But just like you pointed out, and I'm fair and balanced when I come on here, guys they think they got a victory because they say, oh, look at these black women, look at these black women. The white woman you kissed last week at the club was with a Great Dane 3 years ago. One of my clients, one of my former clients, realized his wife years ago, before he met her, was with an animal. This is a normal thing, but in the YouTube spaces, shaming black women or black women shaming black men, they think it's a victory. No, your white husband was playing with something way before you met this guy. So I just tell people, type in Zoophilia Law 2005, and you will realize some countries just recently outlawed it. Recently, on the recent. So this is normal, man. It's just that I just want our black people to get a little bit more mature, because for those of us who have been exposed to this level of the matrix, we've seen it and we've moved on. Now you seeing it at 36. You're like, oh, look at this. Dude, your supervisor does it more than you think.
I mean, and how you doing, by the way? And thank you for the donation. Well, what's going on with your little picture there? Are you hypnotizing us?
Well, I am Mr. Research. I want our people to research. I want our people to cross-reference. I want you to say my name correctly. Say it.
Say it.
There you go. There you go.
Mr. Research. Mr. Research.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Well, no, that's it's also a thing, and I'm sorry to be long-winded. So at one point in time, I had 46,000 subscribers, and it was so funny. I was in my convertible car, and I still got the picture of it. YouTube called it nudity. I was in a suit with a cigar. YouTube called it nudity. And they terminated my channel. And I drove down, because I'm close to YouTube. I drove down to San Mateo, had a meeting with 6 ladies, because the office is 80% lady. and one of the Asian ladies after the meeting just told me, we're not going to reverse it. And this was the time Willie D had to go get his lawyer, to force them to do it. And I said, this is too much work. This is before the algorithm. I was like, this is too much work. These people trying to pick winners and losers. So it is what it is. But let me pass the mic. Go ahead, brother.
I'd like to chime in on that. That's the problem with these, with YouTube and all of these different platforms, is they're like 90% women working there. So the ideology is kind of feminist. If you cross that line, they'll shut you down, and you have no way of really fighting it unless you get a lawyer and go against it. Because I remember Lisa Cabrera, on her channel, they shut her down for something that she posted, which really wasn't against policy. She had to get a lawyer and take it to court, and they left her alone after that. But most people are not going to sue them.
Right. Go ahead, Donovan.
No, I didn't have anything to say on that, but yeah, a lot of people see, and that's why I kind of hate to sit up here and always argue with people who've never really left the United States or left the Caribbean. They don't understand when you go to Europe, sex in general is no big deal. Now, what they don't tell you about Sosua, let's talk about the DR, the place where I'm running for mayor, by the way. You guys go ahead and give me your vote. But like in Sosua, in the wintertime in Europe, Europeans bring their whole families into Sosua. When I was there for the Super Bowl, I'm looking at all these white people running around with their families. Now, as an American, of course, I'm thinking, oh my God, why would you bring the kids here? And, it was no big deal. It actually happens. I mean, we are the most hypocritical country in the world. You've got Amsterdam, the red light district over there, Germany, the red light district there. All these other countries, these adult things are in place except in the United States. If a grown adult is having sex behind closed door privacy between two adults, it's a crime. But if you do it on camera in OnlyFans in digital format, nothing wrong with it. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't understand that we are so behind in this country in how we think of situations, but yet we have, not pedophilia, but yeah, we got a lot of pedophilia going on. If you look at the rate of pedophilia in the United States versus the rest of the world, the rest of the world is so low comparatively because people who have these desires can go to these sex therapists and work out their fantasies and all these other things. But no, we can't do that here, and we wonder why we have a problem.
Let me say one more intellectual thing on top of that. Tricking. Tricking is a major thing amongst only Black men. Let that sink in for a minute. People who want to hate me for saying it. Tricking is only a concern for brown collar Black men. Do you think an Asian guy teases another guy for going to a geisha house? No, it's normal. Another Japanese guy tease a guy for going to a geisha house? No, it's normal. You think a Jewish guy teases another Jewish guy for going to the hand job place? No, it's normal. And so on and so on and so on. Nobody uses the term tricking unless they are associated with the urban community as a friend or some type of colleague. These people are out here doing it on a regular. And somebody else made the point. The darn Arabs are the biggest tricks on the planet. So me shaming Donovan really doesn't matter because the Arab, the Qatar, the Persians, the Syrians, the Egyptians, they paying 5 G's minimum, 10 G's normal, 20 G's on a. I know chicks that go out there once every 6 months. So, like Donovan says, if the Black man, and maybe I'm too strong for this podcast, but if the Black man could just really get off the childishness, you're not winning in some of these arguments. Because as Donovan said, the world has moved and you're still in 1995 with some of these insults and shaming tactics. It's just not going to work. And I did donate, even though the host didn't say nothing.
Well, I was, but then you just started talking, and that's when I said, how you doing? But I did see your donation, and I love and appreciate you for that. And I just subscribed. I thought I was already subscribed to you. That's what I was looking at. So y'all please subscribe to Mr. Research. It has the same little thing going on there. So please subscribe to him. And if anybody else has a YouTube channel you want a subscription to, please put it in the comments and I will put it up.
But here's my question real quick, Demetra. For some of the ladies in the chat, you don't have to, I wish you guys would come on more so we could have a conversation. You could just use your little emoji like there if you don't want your face to be seen. But in the chat, ladies in the chat, what do you guys think about that? Do you think this woman was out of pocket and how dare they arrest her? She could do what she wants, all that other stuff. Or was she right or was this woman wrong?
I'm sorry. Say that again. I'm sorry.
No, what I was saying for the women in the chat, was the woman that we're talking about, was she right or was she wrong? How do you guys feel about that in regards to her situation?
So you're asking the women that. I didn't really give my opinion. I'm just trying to see who else came on here. Hello, Kimmy. How you doing? I'm going to put this in the link in the comment section. So, okay. So give me a second on that, Donovan. So see, Latre, you're talking about people, and I guess you're speaking to women specifically, using antiquated terms to describe men who are maybe going to get a little bit of happiness. Is that where we were going with that?
No, it was mostly about the men. The men are in 1995. I don't want to drown out Donovan's question because, his cat is going to get me if I don't let him do his thing. But I think that Black men spend too much time trying to penis police other Black men. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. If, the rest of the world is out here doing XYZ, And that's one reason why the rest of the world don't have a bunch of child support issues, child support arguments. They just go to the Robert Kraft hand job location for $40 and go ahead and get that over with, and then they get back to the money. The black man instead, he's like, "You tricking. I'm going to make 14 videos about you. Everybody come join me. Come and laugh at him." Meanwhile, you tried to shame Adam 22, and within 1 week, he made $250,000 off you idiots. So what did you really stop in 1 week with a man who was a former porn star who convinced his girlfriend to have threesomes with over 32 women, and this porn star decides to use you black men to build his 4 million subscriber empire, and now he's about to change it into a porn, No Jumper's about to be a porn, mostly demographic. He's going to get away from black men, black hood. He's used them enough. And so this is going to be the launch pad. And most of these guys just want to be angry. You're in 1995. But to Donovan's point, yes, I would love to hear the ladies say something about this stuff, because, the problem with the community, too many black men are worried about what women think. That's why we're stuck the way we're stuck. And for well-traveled, well-read brothers, and I'm not looking down on nobody, I'm just keeping it real. We know if I go to Morocco, there's certain things I can say and do, unless I'm ready to die right there on the spot. You as a woman, outside of a black man's protection, you got to understand as a woman, and please, women, come up. Outside of a black American male's protection, you ain't got it the way you think you got it. You ain't got it like that in Canada. You ain't got it like that in Germany, Austria, Kazakhstan, Romania. You don't, because they don't view you as someone who they should allow to do that, unless there's some black muscle around, unless there's a black gunplay around. That's the only way it happens. So I would love to hear, ladies. Sorry for the long-windedness. Just a lot of stuff to kick in there.
I like to mention something to that. I think the main problem that we've had in this country is ever since the 80s and before, actually, the women have been able to get up on these television shows and talk about black men in a derogatory way. We're this, we're that, and the black men could never respond. Black men were not allowed to respond to these negative stereotypes that were placed on us. And now that we have social media, finally, black men have a voice. So they're kind of overcompensating, spinning the pendulum in the opposite direction. And they're responding, and the women don't like it because they're not used to hearing the black men say something about it, and this is what's going on, I think.
Well, 30-second reply, Demetria. It was really our uncles and our fathers who stopped us from speaking back. It was really them saying, well, you got to understand women, just walk away. Our granddads was like, just walk away. You got to understand. And all that did was empower those Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey 1981 Black Men Working episode started this whole gender war. You can't even buy that in print. I offered her 5 G's at Harpo to give me that thing. She won't even take no money for it, because what it did in 1981 is set off this anti-male conversation, and where other talk shows start picking it up. So yeah, you got a point on that. But I think the pandering black man is the real problem. He will see a woman, not a nice, good, polite lady, intellectual lady like Demetria, but he will see a woman go over here and slap Donovan out the clear blue sky and then protect her for what she initiated. Pandering black men are the real problem.
And hold on a second. Rainy Fox, can I see your face really quick before I bring you up? And then you can put your picture back up if you don't want everybody else to see you.
That's one of my people from my show.
That's one of your people? Okay, they got a can you see them down at the bottom? Or is it just me?
No, it's just you.
Okay, so let me see. That's your folks?
That's her. That's
okay,
her.
Okay, cool. So yes, we have a woman come up. So Brother Samuel, I thought I put it up. Let me see. Mr. Research. That is his page. Oh gosh, y'all said so much. But we'll let Rainy Fox go ahead and chime in. I'll hold my commentary toward the end. So, hello, Rainy Fox. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Thanks for clearing me, Mr. Research. That's my boy.
All right, now.
I'm East Coast and he's West Coast, but I had to put on my thing since you wanted me to cam up and my teeth is and everything else. I had to get ready.
No.
I was reaching for it as I'm talking.
No.
As you're talking, I'm reaching for it.
No, what happens is, if I don't, know you, I just kind of, because we have some funky stuff going, and trust me, y'all will be glad that I'm doing this.
Yes, I agree. I watch YouTube. I've been subscribed to you since before time. But I was going to, in fact, do a video of this, and I have some capturing footage of the incident, but I haven't gotten to it yet. But I'm not going to stay long. I just want to say this. Exactly what these brothers were saying, I was thinking. Black women, and particularly us, going over to a Muslim country, need to understand what the man is about. And a lot of times, and it's unfortunate because we had a big influence of Islam through the Nation of Islam back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, especially if you were brought up in the North like I was, okay? And I'll digress and detach myself from that in terms of my personal background. But with that said, that's just when this brother that just dropped or whatever, I think he kind of pointed that out. We can't go over there. And the brother that's still on the panel and just think that we can yell. We're inside a Muslim country. We're inside a Muslim country. My sister, who travels worldwide, went over there on a business trip in 2019, by the way, called a code, but we won't go there in 2019, ironically enough, but I digress. But I said, and she invited me to go, and I said, no. But I know about Islam. And it's the same if you go into the Hebrew community, any community, but you're going to their country. It's their nation. And my cousin always reminds me every time, and my cousin's out there where Mr. Research is at, in the Bay Area of California, that every time Americans, be it Black or white, travel and tour, they come out with this ugly American mentality. Take a look at, remember the incident with the swimmer that went over and did all kind of, I can't think of his name. I think he was out of North Carolina or something, but the swimmer or the bike rider, but I think he was a swimmer, doing just derogatory things. And this gentleman on the panel, being a pilot, he knows more than anyone about real estate. You got air rights. And when you're in someone else's air, what is appropriate, as well as when you get to the ground. And it doesn't really take much. You can travel to St. Lucia. I grew up going to Canada. Ontario, Canada is different than the Providence where Toronto is. And the norms are a little different. Montreal is different. they're going to speak more French. So you don't really have to travel abroad to know these things. But I think that Meek Mills, as an example, did that video in there, that video. And I got on my Twitter, which I'm on Twitter a lot, trying to correct some of these youngins, make this make sense. And I said to him, it's inappropriate. Act like when you're going to see the president, the only reason he's seeing you is because you're a superstar, but you're also African-American and they're trying to make good on engaging with us. Whether it's sincere or not, doesn't matter. It's just being cordial. And so doing, in fact, what he did inside of the palace, you had a whole bunch of people, Guyanians, very upset about it. I don't blame, because it was very disrespectful. So while I feel for the sister in Dubai, She must understand she's in a Muslim country. And that doesn't mean that if you go over to Africa, they ain't Muslim. Some countries are Muslim in Africa, some countries are Christian, some countries are both, as well as traditional. You cannot disrespect a man by yelling publicly. You do that behind closed doors. I think the only place you can yell at a man is in Nigeria. But I digress, because Nigerian women don't take prisoners. But whether or not they do that publicly, I think they do, but it may be in such a way. But what she did, she was in a Muslim country, bottom line, and it was inappropriate. And I feel for the sister, and I hope a very safe return for her. And I yield my mic. Thank you so much. If Mr. Research was not on here, I have been sitting here listening because I've been subscribed to you for such a long time and follow you. I wouldn't have gotten on, but once I heard his voice, I said, "Okay, then this is kind of a cool panel." Then I don't.
Don't never be afraid to come on here. All opinions are
only Demetri and I get into it from time to time.
Okay. But I will yield my mic, and I'm going to remove myself from the panel. But thank you very much for
coming up.
That's that Mr. Research touch.
Yes, and thank you for subscribing as well. Love and appreciate you for that. Yeah, I don't disagree with anything that you said, which is why earlier I said I have my suspicions, but I'm still gonna hold on to them, just to give everybody else a chance to say whatever they want to say. So let me get back to let's see here.
Kimmy said, did the man yell at her too? Get that? Did the man she yelled at also yell at her? I believe he did.
So yeah, that's where I guess they support what they're saying, and I guess they saw it on video somehow that it started, because it sounded like it was a shakedown. You want your stuff back, because it sounds like they left their stuff in a rental car, and so the guy who had the stuff says, if you want your stuff back, then you need to pay. A shakedown, right? Like I said, you've gone to different countries, and sometimes a shakedown happened. Sounds like they disagree with it, and it sounds like from what they were saying, that her mom was saying the guy got aggressive with her, and then it sounds like she got aggressive back, which they said she was screaming at a man in public, caught on video, which is why she's been detained. It doesn't sound like she's gone to court yet, but as someone else was saying here, looks like she could be facing up to 6 years for that. So
right. So just as a side item for people who don't understand these international legal things, Ty Lawson was in China and at a China strip club and got on his social media and said, "God, this Chinese girl got some booty." They kicked him out of China for life. They kicked a grown man out of China for life. When I was traveling through, I had left Spain in late 1990 and went over the boat to Tangier. I went through going over to Palestine. I went through Morocco. Well, I went through Morocco, and then I went the other way. In Morocco, I saw an Arab guy slap a dark-skinned black man for talking to a woman.
Okay.
So let's be clear on these laws. You can feel what you want to feel. If you're not good with this weapon, if you're not good with these hands, if you don't know how to keep your mouth closed about certain things, maybe you should be a hero in Minnesota, St. Paul, or wherever you're from. Because once you start traveling, it is a whole new level of the game, and your mouth will have you Brittany Griner sitting in some place like Russia, begging for some American to help you. You can't just pop your mouth off, regardless of how you feel.
Yeah, and so Common Man, he says it was an accident, but it sounds like it happened at the rent-a-car place. I guess, I don't know, somehow, somewhere. She got into an argument with a man and was seen screaming in public, which is against the law there for women to do to men. And so, like I said, I have my suspicions, but I'm gonna wait.
Right. And real quick, you also got to think about that. Okay, you're in another country, hypothetically. Let's just be hypothetical about it. It's bad enough, we get treated the way we get treated in this country. You're in another country. their police show up. Who the hell do you think the police in another country is going to side with? You, the American, or their native people? Think about that.
Yes, indeed. Corliss, how you
You
doing?
in the DR, the police are going to side with Dominican Republican people. You'll get caught up in the DR. A lot of people don't talk about that.
Oh, trust me, I know. How you doing, Corliss?
Hey D. I had a laugh over here because they said that you want we women.
Oh, I love your hair, by the way. I just want to say that real quick. Go ahead.
Thank you. Let me make sure I say this correctly. That we women would not be protected the way we are here. Who protected here by Black men? If something happened, they running faster than the women. The women taking up faster than the men. So I want to know, what men y'all talking about?
Can I answer that? Wasn't there a 14-year-old boy that went and defended his mother recently?
We're not talking about the 14-year-old boy and his mother. We said men and women. Men that some of these women are in relationships with that do not stand up for their women. They don't even get up and pump the gas, let alone take a bag of groceries in.
Yeah, I think you're talking about two different things. So let me explain my statement.
Okay.
I believe you're talking about men who serve women and do what women want them to do. That's a totally different thing from protection. Protection here is whether you in business, corporate, your job, white people, Latin people, they have a concern that somebody's going to come out the woodwork, i.e. a man, and protect you from something you might have even initiated at the pool. The Latin man is looking around because he's looking for your son, another Black man, a stranger, to form with you like Voltron over something you create. Now, you don't notice that protection because, not you personally, but some people take it for granted that some strange guy will come over and be like, sister, you all right? Yeah, I was just making sure the Latino dude was cool because it seemed like y'all was chopping off. Nobody pays attention to that because I think what some women, as it pertains to your question, are looking for is, Donovan, what did I ask you to do? Donovan, Donovan, open my door. Donovan, you supposed to, hey, Donovan, you can't go outside of America with that energy because I know in Germany, the men will have the German women come fist fight you off rip. They won't even talk to you. Just be at your little cafe thinking you got to win, and the German girl will come up and just start sucker punching you because they about that life without the weapon. So I just think, not in a braggadocious way, I just want people to have the empathy to understand the protection that's here in America is under that, hey, sister, you all right? Hey, because other groups, all you have to really do is go ask other groups this question you posed to the panel. Other groups, when they get into it with somebody at Walmart, they're looking around to see if Pookie or Ray Ray is coming to save you. That don't happen outside of America. They could care less. They want the boxing match.
You know, a lot of people, a lot of times and this is something that I've observed, is a lot of our women are not looking for our protection. They're looking for our revenge. They like, for example, that woman that was dating that football player, that he broke up with her and she called her brother and her brother's friend and all, so they could go over there and exact revenge on him, you know. And then when one of them got killed, another one got shot and all, she was up in the courtroom basically lying. So she had no accountability for the part that she played in that. But if she had not hit him over top of the head with it and attacked her ex-boyfriend, none of this would have had to happen. So it's not that she was looking for protection. She was looking for revenge. And I think we have to separate the two, because I believe when a woman is under the authority of a man, and I know people hate to hear that word, but when I was married, nobody was messing with my wife. I got a daughter. Nobody can mess with my daughter. But I don't think I have the obligation to go protect a woman that was over bumping her gum somewhere and then it got out of hand. Those are two different things.
So let me say this. And you know, of course, on the show, we don't like to deal in absolutes, like it's all this or it's all that or it's none of this or it's none of that. You know, because it's to me, I know a lot of times, and Mr. Research, I know you can attest to this as well. We think because we've seen it on the internet, then it applies everywhere, right? I always say the internet is not real because it gives us a false, falsehoods about a lot of things, right? Like the people we talk about or we see on the internet, we really don't know too many people like that, right? But I will say this. I know a lot of Black men who do protect Black women. And you know, my father is one of them. He is 79 years old. You know, he still we was on a cruise, as a matter of fact, not too long ago. And there was this brother, and he was really irate. He was going at it at the sister. Was a bunch of them, but he was mad at the sister. And he's rah, rah, rah. I mean, it was like, wow, is he gonna jump on her? Like, what's going on? And my 79-year-old dad, he trying to get up and say, well, wait, where you going? He says, well, I'm gonna go see if there's something I can do. I said, Daddy, because my dad is on a walker now. You know why my dad is on a walker? Because he was trying to break two Black women up while a Black man watched them fight. And the Black man, the big brother, my dad probably weighs 145 pounds, got my dad by the arm and slung him to where he hit the ground and broke his hip. And by the grace of God, you know, he's still here, because, you know, a lot of older people don't come back from that. So, and I've seen countless times of my dad running to help women. We was at a family reunion one time, and this brother, it was a woman in a wheelchair, and he slaps her. And, you know, my dad at the time, he, you know, didn't have a broken hip. He runs over there like Superman, and I'm right behind him because I'm like, they ain't gonna jump on my daddy. And he gets over there, he break it up. He's like, man, you can't do that. And there was a whole bunch of people standing around watching him do it. So I say that to say there are a lot of good brothers out there that will help a woman. Now there's, you know, and again, we don't want to, you know, deal in absolutes, but I will say this too. We know a lot of times, sometimes the sisters just don't know when to say when. Y'all remember that old commercial back in the day, the coffee commercial, say when. That's when that was enough, right? Sometimes we don't know when to say when. Now, I said I have my suspicions about what happened over there. Listen, I don't know that lady. I don't have any other inside knowledge about what happened there in Dubai, but my spidey senses tell me that she didn't have the cutoff button or the wherewithal to say, me being quiet doesn't mean I'm wrong. Me being quiet means I'm trying to get my Black ass back home, because me over here being foggy with this man, it might cost me something, right? I'm being shook down. Okay, how much you want? Is that enough? Can I get my things so I can leave? That's what I would have done. I would not have stood over there, and if we could see the video, I'm sure they'll probably release it. She probably wasn't, and it was probably because I'm sure that she could have probably said something that, you know, like, I don't like what you're doing, and got away with it. But it was probably enough to where they was like, oh, hell no. We got to make an example out of her. So I guess the point that I'm making is there are no absolutes. There's not all, and there's not all of none. Does that make any sense? Am I making sense?
You know, Ms. Corliss, I respect your viewpoint. And just like Demetria pointed out, there's levels to this. Levels means percentages. There are percentages to this. The thing that when you say protect women, please make sure that you're not asking for blind protection. Because what happens sometimes in our community, and some ladies don't like admitting it, just like Demetria said, cutoff button, some ladies initiate stuff. And then they look for somebody to be a champion to what they initiated. Look at the Chinese guys the video of the Chinese guys who beat up 3 Chinese women for not giving them the phone number. See, people think that only happens in the black community. That's a normal thing that happens in China. They just don't videotape it and let you see it. But when it became national news, then you see, oh, this goes on in a community. Just like the other brother said, you're going to protect the people who are within your circle. But when you want black pride protection, you need to do it at your job. As a lady, you need to protect brothers. Why do I need to protect a man? So we want it one way. So this protection that you're speaking about, great question, but it has to be for both genders. It just can't be, here's what I expect from you men, even if I created something. You got women attacking women for not agreeing. Hey, I'm gonna call you a pick-me or a mammy. Ain't no black man creating that. So who do I fight in that regard? A woman for picking on another black woman when she's supposed to have black pride and not do that? So I end by saying, just like Demetria said, outside of this country, you got to have some decorum. You got to have some grace. You got to have the ability. Donovan can't protect me as good as he is with weapons. He can't protect me if I go sit up here and start something out the clear blue sky and we in Qatar. We might not make it to the plane.
And let me say this. Hold on one second, Corliss. James, and how you doing? Says, I don't know anyone going to another country looking up laws about if I'm able to scream, laugh out loud, stupid. It sounds stupid, but you shouldn't be screaming here. You know what I'm saying? And if you in doubt or you don't know, just like, I mean, come on. How many of us will go to a whole nother country and, and get froggy? Most of us probably wouldn't. We'd be like, you know what? He wrong. He's shaking me down. All right. It happens here. I'm out. That's what I would have done.
Hold on.
Real quick. I mean, I can understand, you're not looking that up if you're going to a Western country where, it's similar to the United States, whatever. But if I'm going to a country in the Middle East that is totally opposite of American values and how they do things, I'm looking up those laws over there. Because remember, in some of these countries, you got to wipe with the right versus the left.
Right.
That's how serious the stuff is over there.
Look, if I'm traveling from California to Arkansas and I got to go through a couple of states, as a grown adult, why would I not check out the traffic laws along the route that I'm traveling?
Well, how about this? What about the gun laws? I'm from New York City. Wait. I'm in New York City. Can I do what I do in Texas and come to New York with it, or California? Exactly. Even within the United States, you got to know the laws. I just can't carry my gun. I got a concealed permit here in California. That ain't going to fly in Texas, even though Texas doesn't have a concealed permit type law. See, so I'm just saying, we can't run around always trying to be, this is how I roll in my hood. That ain't going to work.
Look. Here's my point about traveling state to state. And Donovan make a good point about guns, but I want James to really absorb this. I was driving a bucket. On the West Coast, we know what a bucket is. I was driving a bucket. Cop pulls me over, and this is an actual charge for having rust on my car. He called it a dilapidated charge. Demetria. Yeah, you twisting your head. Yep, that's a real charge. Why, again, would I travel between California and Arkansas along highway, whatever, and not research what could happen along those roads? Come on, James. We are too old to say it sounds stupid.
Absolutely. Corliss.
So let me make this very clear. I'm not saying that anybody should come in and protect foolishness. Okay, foolishness is getting your life snatched. But what I am saying is, I've seen a lot in my 49 years, and I've rarely seen when a woman gets into any type of altercation. I'm not talking about with women. I'm talking about with men, no matter what it was, wrong, right, or indifferent. I'm not saying a woman put their hands on a man, any of that. But I've seen women that were in trouble. Like now, today, if I see a woman arguing with a man, I'm going to look and think twice. You know why? Because half the time when we get involved with stuff with like domestic violence, which sometimes I feel like we should, what we getting involved for? Because they ain't going to do nothing but turn around and get in the same car and go home with them. So, I mean, like, it's like, when do you really, today's society, in all honesty, you can't even help, like the girl that on the freeway. You can't even help kids. You better call because you just don't know what's going on. So it's like, what kind of protection really can you offer? Because you don't know what you're getting yourself into.
And you know what, Corliss, you raise a good question and point, because it's like, how do you know, right? And I know that in the Nation of Islam, they tell women, you know, don't be out there if you don't have to be without your man or some sort of protection, right? Like, nobody has to tell us to not be out there by yourself at night. Now, we should be able to, right? But the other thing is like, well, some of that we have to use wisdom and say, okay, you know, chances are I'm just going to Walmart, you know, pick up some I left, and it's, you know, 9, 10 o'clock at night, I'm going to go by myself. But then the other chances are, as Goldie said on the mag, there's some sadistic fool about the suburbs waiting for you to break your arm or something. So some of that we have to really just say, okay, let me not put and I hate to even say this, so y'all don't mistake me when I say this, it's just the best way I can say it, not to put myself in a position, because I am one of those people that believe that even if a woman is walking down the street butt naked, she still should not be harmed. However, we know there's somebody out there gonna say, well, you shouldn't have been out there. You know what I'm saying? So we have to do our due diligence to really just not to do our best to stave off anything negative, even though I'm not saying it's our fault and we can totally avoid that, but at least do our part, because we do know there's a lot of men, whether it's our husbands, our boyfriends, or brothers, fathers, that are 6 feet deep for trying to right a wrong that we could have avoided, right? Like you said, Corliss, that we know there's a lot of women who are probably with somebody who's abusive. He gonna dot both of her eyes and probably do it in front of everybody, and then everybody put on their capes for the 50th time to go in there and try to help her. Then she go home with him or whatever, saying, well, we done worked it out, and then God forbid. So then, like you said, well, and I've heard some family members say, yeah, I know he whooping her butt, but I'm gonna stay out of it, because the last time I jumped in it, I was on the outside, I was the bad guy, and she went with him. So we don't like it, but what can we do, right? So that's what I mean by sometimes we have to make sure that we're doing all we can to avoid being in danger, if you will. LS, how you doing?
Pirate Brain, your mic.
Oh, was it Pirate Brain?
There we go. How y'all be this fine Sunday afternoon?
We're well. How about yourself?
Oh man, this is a hot topic. I came in late, but you know, it's almost coming full circle for where we were 2 weeks ago about what happened in Chicago when son had to protect his mother from the idiot that was knocking her upside the head 3 different times. Yes, women need to, as much as possible, avoid bringing heat to their relationship, whichever kind of relationship it is, whether it's husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, mother, son, cousin, whoever it is. I mean, and I mean, I understand women want the protection, but if you're in another country, if you're acting an ass, it's going to be hard for you to get that protection. I mean, it's just flat out. Nobody's going to put their life on the line for you if you're in a situation that you created. I mean, there naturally there are exceptions to that, but on the sum and not the whole, that's what the result is going to be. And it's a situation where cooler heads need to prevail, but I mean, Lord, I love my sisters, but sometimes y'all can really cut up, and it'll be for no reason. And it ain't just the sisters. Women in general lean to irrationality more than men. I mean, men for the most part, and that's not, we're generalizing here, and we're not saying this total sum game, but it's hard. I think y'all get what I'm saying, but sisters, hey, don't put us in a position where we have to protect you because you did something you shouldn't have. I mean, I wouldn't even expect that can go both ways. Brothers, don't put sisters in a position where they have to do something that they shouldn't have to because of something you did. I mean, we can look at the Kiki Palmer situation. If she wouldn't have wore that dress, likely, I think the guy's name is Darius, he wouldn't have put that post out there, right? So there has to be some accountability, some internal accountability from each of us for ourselves and our behavior in public and at home.
Absolutely. Let me say this. Travis Brown, how you doing? Says now he's in a Walker Noah Center. My daddy was a simp. I mean, you could say whatever you want, but you know what? He was probably protecting those women from a person like you. And guess what you got today? Blocked. So anyway.
I wanted to mention something to you. I think you did a show on this maybe a year or so ago. I don't know if you remember. This happened in Texas. There was a guy. I think he was a boxer. I think this guy was a boxer, and this woman was in the middle of getting a divorce, and she was in the middle of getting a divorce, and she was going to meet with her husband, and her husband came. The boxer kind of interfered to protect her, and the husband came back and shot him. This happened in Texas. I think you guys did a show on this.
Maybe I don't recall, but I don't recall if we did that one. Yeah, I mean, things. I don't want to say things happen like it's normal. It's not normal. It's just, we've talked about this a lot on this show. It's the lack of emotional intelligence. People don't ask themselves, what is this behavior going to cost me? What is me, going verbally toe to toe with this man in another country going to cost me? Over here, you can turn up, you have freedom of speech, right? I can say what I want to say, to a degree. But in somebody else's country, you can't be doing all of that. It's like that. And Easy, you asked, why is it that people have a hard time buttoning their lips? I think because if I have to be in that lady's shoes, she was probably thinking if I don't say nothing, it means I'm wrong. I'm gonna stick up for myself. It's like, no, you can be quiet and right at the same time. You can also be quiet and right and go home, and then when you get back over here, you can say, now, well, let me tell you what happened. I'm gonna write somebody and then they take a passport and, all that other stuff. So it's like, what did being right? And I'm not saying the sister wasn't wrong for being mad that she got shook down. I mean, I don't think anybody would like that, but sometimes you got to use some emotional intelligence to say, well, what is it? I mean, come on. I was probably going to blow that little bit of money off on somewhere anyway. So let me just get my stuff back and go home. So some people just they can't connect the dots. Like, all right, let me shut up. Okay.
So this is where we get mad at the strategic nature of mayonnaise people. Mayonnaise people would have said, oh, okay, Mr. Arab man, gave the money, took some pictures, took a video, didn't speak, and went right to the computer and yelped it up, commentary, all that good stuff. And it might not have done nothing right then and there. But then over time, more people look at that stuff. They don't go, numbers start dropping. what to Demetrius' point, and she didn't say it this way, so blame me because I'm gonna translate what she said into hood speak. Some of you folks want to be heard. You want to be heard in that moment, and you believe that being heard has power. Nope, nope, nope. It depends. Like I said, if we are in Qatar and I start something, I don't care if Donovan got 14 guns on him. We might not make it to the airport. Therefore, and this is two guys. Therefore, I'm not going to put both of us in a situation where we're not going to make it to the airport. I don't want to be sitting. Look, even better scenario. I don't know Donovan from Adam, but let's say we were together and he had some coke in his bag. I am distancing myself from Donovan. I don't care if we've been known each other since third grade. In that moment, I don't want to be held for 5 years while they figure out what's going on. And in the case of this lady, in many other situations, there was the lesbian couple in one of those Thai or Laos countries. She's like, "Oh, this is great. We kicking you out." Kicking me out? Yeah, we don't want none of that over here. You come here and enjoy it. Don't get on your Facebook and start telling other folks to come. No. And we gotta, in this Black community, we gotta be well-read and well-traveled enough to understand everybody's not going to bend to our will just because we want to be heard.
Absolutely.
A lot of people that are leaving the country, probably at our age, like I see my friends traveling all over the place, and guess what? They come back in one piece because they're old enough. They're more responsible and they're respectful people that go to see, tour. They know what they want to do and they leave. Now, the girl that went over there on a castle twerking threw me for a loop because you thought that was cute. That was ignorance. Like, you would really go over where your people were traded and put on slave ships and passage through the ocean, and you thought that was cute to record you shaking your ass on top of the castle? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the majority of the time, the majority of Black folks, and I just say LA hoodish, they ain't traveling nowhere. They can't even say the country this man didn't say it, let alone spell it. They don't have a passport. They're not going anywhere. They don't know how to act in America. So, hell, half of them don't know how to act in the county jail. So I don't think they're going to another country to do too much of anything. Most of the time, like now, I have young cousins that travel. Well, they go over there with my one cousin. She's not going to have it, period. Don't go over there cutting up, acting a fool. Because if you get any type of foolishness caught up, guess what she's going to do? Just like he said, she's going to sever herself. You're going to be left there, and she's definitely going home. Because that's not what she came there for. So if you don't take somebody, I don't feel like anybody should have to take you on a trip where you have to be babysat. If you know you don't have no sense, and your people around you know you don't have no sense, then don't invite their ass nowhere they can't handle themselves. Because not only do you put your own self at risk, you put everybody else in the group at risk too. So if you don't want to be babysitting, leave them alone.
Yeah, and that's me too, Corliss. I don't even want to eat out with somebody who don't know how to act, be talking crazy to the waitress and all that. If you did it to me once, you never do it to me again, because you acting stupid, and what they may be doing to the food back there, they're gonna do it to everybody food. So if somebody show me who they are at the dinner table and we go out to eat once, I never go with them again, because I'm like you're not gonna cost me something. But I want to address this. The lady, how you doing? It says, interesting how a woman raising her voice gets so much attention. Let's pile on Keisha no matter what. Nah, that ain't what it is, because you know what her name is. Oh gosh, it escapes me. It'll come to me. Miss Allen, I think her name is. She gonna want us to rally together for her. to, help her get free and, turn up and all of that. So it's not that she was raising her voice, it's that she didn't raise her intellect. She didn't say, you know what, let me back down. And that's why I said my suspicions tell me she's not used to backing down. My suspicions tell me she's used to over here, and it caught up to her. Because one thing I know for sure is my mom used to always say, your family gonna put up with you to some degree or whatever, because they kind of have to some degree. But when you get outside, or let's say like a person has a child and they're spoiled and can't say nothing to them, but when they get an adult, or even when they're not, and the law get a hold of them, they don't care about what you got to say. It's because they were not used to behaving in the home, and then they get outside and the house, and they do what they thought was acceptable in the house, and it's like, no, it don't work that way. So it's not that people are piling on her per se. We're not piling on her. What we're trying to do is shed some light, so that way somebody else don't go over there thinking they just gonna bump their gums recklessly and then come home. And then, we seen it. Not that Brittany Griner was over there at Loud talking, she had a little drugs in her suitcase. That was wrong. But we seen time and time again of Americans going to other countries, Otto Warmbier Beard. If y'all don't remember that name, y'all remember that white boy that went, I think it was South Korea, North Korea, one of them. He was going to steal one of the flags to take to his grandma. And it said, you can't do that here. Wow, my grandmother, they came for money. My grandmother wanted this flag. Do you know they sent that boy home a vegetable? And he died. They locked him up.
Yeah, he died like a week and a half
I
later.
remember that.
Y'all remember that? Y'all remember when, was it a white boy that was running around?
That was North Korea, too.
Yeah. When he was running around in, I think it was Thailand, and he was graffiti in the cars. And
No, that was Singapore. That was Singapore. They don't play. Muslim country. They don't play.
They was gonna cane him. That was the punishment.
They were gonna cane him 30-something times, and they reduced it because the State Department stepped in. It was less than 10.
It was 3. It was 3.
Yeah, it was 3. They reduced it. So they didn't even want him to get that. And then I don't know if y'all saw recently, some more white boys I went in some country in Asia, they writing on the temples and scrolling writing, and it's like they got caught, right? Oh, I was just just writing something. And it's like y'all don't watch the news enough to know that those other countries do not play. So at some point in time, we have to stop saying, oh, well, we dog piling on Keisha. It's like, no, we trying to impart some wisdom on people so you can educate yourself. Like, don't go over there doing the stuff you're doing over here.
In Thailand, if you step on one of their one of their currencies, you go to jail for that. You can't. Let's say you drop it and the wind's blowing and you want to stop the wind from carrying away, you cannot step on it.
And Demetria makes a point. Donovan and Demetria are trying to teach Black folks. We can't be in the echo chamber and just say, "Hey, you got to agree with what we think our assumption is." Donovan, how important is your passport versus $1 million?
Oh, my passport is everything.
I don't care about that million. Yeah. I need to make it up out of here.
Right. Because you got to think about it also like this. Let's say, forget the million, but I got my passport, but I got to go do business and make contacts in other countries where I can make billions. If I ain't got a passport, I can't go.
So here's what happened with the lady. Here's the research. I'm going to surmise it. Her name is Tierra Young Allen.
Yes.
So what happened is she and her friend rented a car. They got into a basic auto accident. Okay. You at that time as a responsible adult in another country, secure your passport. Find that. Your legs work, your arms work, get that passport. You dealing with the argument, you don't like the fact you got hit, whatever. You allow the car to get towed back to the rental place. And now you want to go get your stuff out the car. Huh? The rental place got insurance stuff to deal with. They don't, who's at fault? Do they need to charge you? Maybe you are charged at fault. Who knows? You're arguing now with the rental people to get your stuff. Now, as an American, this seems sensible. Like, of course. But you're dealing with a country that's very patriarch, very, very whatever. And you need to understand that. So maybe there's a more polite way to get your stuff. And they asked her for money to give her access. Now, this is according to her. Now, even if that's true, you need your passport right now. Maybe you need to just kick that into the game, but you kept running, you kept saying what you're saying because you want to be heard. Guess what? He know the laws. You don't. He picked up that darn phone, called who he called. You kept getting vocal because you're used to it. And those people came and got you. Now you're like Brittany Griner. And I'm not saying this because I'm bragging. Now you're like Brittany Griner and you sitting with a lot of time to think because you don't know if this is going to end well. Does your mom have enough back in America for lawyer money? Better think about the stuff.
Well, and you also got to think about this, and this is what I try to tell people. When I went to SEER school, they're teaching us all this Rambo type stuff, do this and eat this and kill this and evade and, do all this other stuff, right? We have academics, which is what you're in books. Then you go out into the field for like 2.5 weeks and they drop you off and you got to navigate to these points and you got to survive, right? No big deal. They're teaching us all of this stuff, right? And I'm thinking, okay, cool. But what the instructor told me is in a class of 30 of us, there was only 3 blacks in the SEER school. What they told me was, Donovan, I went to my instructor. I said, hey, look, my dad was an aviator. What's the real deal on this? I said, would this really happen? He said, well, okay, Donovan, he goes, here's the real deal. If your plane got shot down and 3 of your crew members survived, there's a 4-man crew, 3 of them survived. He goes, most likely than not, you would be shot on the spot dead because you have no value as a POW. I'm just a black guy. And the reason I'm bringing that up is this. Here's where I'm going with this. The image that we are being portrayed around the world as black people, we're on YouTube acting a fool. We're, twerking on the, thing over here. This is what these other people see. And then they come to this country and they come here and they disrespect us. Even our own Africans in the diaspora, they'll come here and think that they're better than us because we are portrayed so negatively. So when you're in these other countries and they see that you're an American, how do you think that they think how they can handle you? Or I could disrespect you. Oh, they just kill black people in the United States. George Floyd, look how they're just treating the black people. And literally, this is how these people think we are to be treated and handled. So now you're in my country, you're a woman, and you think you're just going to pop off, and talk to me the way that you're going to talk to me. No, you're a black woman. You deserve, and I'm not saying you don't deserve respect, but I'm saying this is how we are portrayed. And this is how a lot of these countries look at black Americans, period. You got to take that into consideration when you go overseas too.
I think it can be summed up with this, that even if you don't have home training, act like you have some home training when you're in public, whether you're here in America or abroad. And with that, I'm going to jump out. Y'all have a great night. I'm going back to the chat.
Thank you so much, LS. Come see us again.
When I was in Argentina, when I lived there, I learned I always kept $20 in my, I was a permanent resident there. So I had my cedula, they called it. And I kept $20 in there. And whenever I got pulled over, the guy would walk up to my thing. He would say, let me see your papers. I would hand him my paperwork. He would hand it back. Say, okay, you can go. That $20 would be gone. But I never had a problem.
Yeah. And
I know how you feel.
No. Because listen, I told you I was shook down in Mexico, so I know. Plus I have my daughter with me, so I wasn't gonna be. What you're not gonna do is, get money from me. You over here. How much? What is that in pesos? Because I want to make sure I give you the right change. You know what I mean? So sometimes you just gotta You got to use wisdom, and be humble. And I think sometimes we think we don't know what it means. Like being humble and being perceived as a punk, they're not the same thing. I'm gonna humble myself. So I can go back home and hot girl it over, in the United States or whatever I'm gonna do. But a lot of times when we are being subjugated, especially in other countries, we think, oh, I know what you're doing to me. You ain't gonna treat me any kind of way. Like when I was in the DR and my daughter and I almost got snatched up. I didn't have really a chance to even really think about anything because it really happened so fast. They thought we were Haitian because we're standing on the corner waiting for our Uber, and the dude, comes up to us, me and my daughter, grab us. Where's your passports? And I was like, huh? What? And before we can even really say anything, a lady ran across the street and said, they're American. And then, of course, when we got to talking more, the guy was like, oh, okay. All right. They didn't really say sorry or nothing. And he was in these big immigration vehicles. And they had Haitians in the back. It was like a big jail on wheels.
Well, no, if you guys, let me say what the jail on wheels was like. Have you guys seen a sugarcane truck? That's what it looked like. They just put the little cages on it. It's like a sugarcane truck, and they just throw people in there.
But even in that situation, I wasn't going to be like, and I wanted to in my head. I was like, don't you be putting your hands on me. In my head, I was thinking that. But I wasn't stupid enough to be talking about it. What you're not going to do is be putting your hands on me and my baby. And you crazy. I'm going to call Brian and let him know what y'all doing.
And the funny thing is,
you're going to call Tyrone.
Yeah, look, and the funny thing is, it happened so quickly. I'm walking up trying to decipher what's going on. I don't know if like Demetrius talking to the guy. It was just so quick that, when I really realized what was going on, and the Dominican lady came to help, because I had my little friend with me, whatever, because she would translate it so we could find out what was going on. Because I had my passport, so I was reaching for my passport. But at that time, I'm thinking, oh, wow, this is going to be, this is going to cost. Somewhere, somehow, and thank goodness there was a lady that was there and saw us and was like, hey, they're Americans and stuff. But it would have been ugly if Demetria would have gone to her American mode, let me say.
And you know what? He was wrong. He was wrong for putting his hands on us and, and commandeering. And it was a bunch of them just surrounded us. But I was not going to tell him, you wrong, what you doing, yes, sir.
Right. What's wrong in his country? In America, he would be wrong, but in the Dominican Republic, they're allowed to gaffle people up.
And listen,
but it happens so fast. That's the problem. These things happen so fast that you have to be 5 steps ahead before they happen. Because I've had it happen to me.
Look, shout out to Taisha K. She said, we got shut down at the Luxor, and her partner was upset. I told him, what is the cop asking for? He said 200 Egyptian. She said, I told him, if you don't get him to get that man at $350 US. So we can get back on the plane.
Empty that purse. Give him what you got.
Exactly. But and a lady, I just want to reiterate, to everybody else who's thinking, it's wrong. It's wrong what happened to her. We're not saying the guy was right for, shaking her down, which it kind of what it sounds like. It's just she wrong for not using common sense. I don't think you should be able to travel out the country, let alone a different state, if you don't have some sort of common sense. You a hot girl over here, a bad bee and all these other things. You are okay over here. People got to kind of put up with it to some degree, right? You have freedom to do that. But over there, they don't care about all of that. Oh, you hollering at a man?
What happened to the sister who bought her property over in Africa? I think you and Phil did a show about it. The sister bought her property in Africa and was at the government place because somebody was on her land or misusing her land, and she had every right. And the guy initiated it, raising his voice at her, and she started raising her voice back. But hold on. Where's your protection when you do that? What you gotta have this is why I told somebody she should have had on a business level some type of guarantees, financial repercussions on the seller's part, or something, because y'all gotta understand, I as a Black man can't make some of these bold assumption moves. I was 20 years old traveling in music. I would take a moped, shout out to the moped days. I would take a moped out into the countryside. But guess what? I had a switchblade at the time. I had a gat. When I would backpack, I kept a strap. When I was in places where I couldn't keep the strap, I just had the blade. I was aware. Some of y'all are going in places like, I'm American, better not touch me. I'm American, what did I say? Y'all, y'all are hilarious.
Yeah, my boy Donovan, sometimes he think he the ultimate badass. We went to Johannesburg, and there are some areas you probably shouldn't be going to, just in general during the daytime or anything. So the first day out, we walk in, the neighborhood, and I'm like, we venturing away from, utopia. Where we going, right? It was a lot of questionable activities going on. Now, mind you, we had our passports, had everything, to get back home on us. And I said, hey, Donovan, I don't know if we should, be going over there. Oh, no, I'm good. I've been all over the world. I'm good. And I had to back that brother down and say, let me tell you something. If something happened to us, my daddy, my man at the time, my brothers, and every man I know gonna come looking for you. Plus, I got my child with me. So I ain't trying to be, getting into no real gangster stuff out here. So if we could take a different route and we could get to where we go, and I don't need that much adventure in my life. You know what I mean? And he was like, all right. And then he went and did them things by himself.
But here's the thing, and the reason why, like, I'm an adventurous person, and of course, if I don't walk down to Compton, California at night, I'm not going to do that in other countries like that. It's just about, the same rules you use here, you can use over there. Use your common sense, right? In that situation, though, when I see white women walking in these bad areas late at night, and we can't go there, I'm like, what the hell is going on? But no, she had a good point. So, sometimes, brothers, you need to concede so that the ladies are comfortable and doing what they need to do.
And he did, but I was like, Lord, I was nervous. Not saying that our people's gonna do something to us, but we was getting in some very questionable territory. I mean, they was, had fires burning in what do you call it, trash cans, and it was a lot, and my nerves was bad. I was like, I don't know, we should go down there.
Yeah, but the funny thing is about that though, D, most of South Africa and Johannesburg, because the Black people are in abject poverty still 35, 40 years after apartheid has ended. It's like that all over there. If you really, when we remember we would go downtown and stuff, and we would go and you see all the people living out on the sides, and the trash is everywhere, graffiti. People, seriously, if you've never been to Africa, and I'm not talking about Egypt where the Arabs are, I'm talking about where the Black people are. When you go to Africa, number one, it's going to motivate you, kind of like, this is where you originated from. This is where, because we're hybrids here, but you're on the land, right? You're on the soil. So it's going to change you a little bit, but you're going to start asking questions in regards to how the hell is 90% of this country controlled by Black people, and most of the Black people in the country are in abject poverty, and the white people are in Whiteville, completely zoned off, living their best life. It's crazy.
And let me say this, Black America, you said our women have no respect for anything but themselves. Again, you can't apply the women and the women you see on the internet to every Black woman. That is not true. I know a lot of Black women that got respect for Black men. Unfortunately, we just don't spend a lot of time talking to those women or talking about those women, because that's not sexy, right? It's not sexy to talk about the woman that's and then the women who do that, they get called all kind of names, pick-me's, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So that's not true. I can tell you a whole bunch of YouTube channels of Black women that are dedicated to big upping Black men. So that's not true.
Well, let me say this, and not to derail the conversation, just a slight mention to what Donovan said about Africa. King Louis IV wrote the Black Noir papers. Just type in Black Noir PDF, and you can read it. In that, and this was before the Berlin Conference, in that what he discovered is the black man's need to only want to fight other blacks. If you ever notice throughout African history, I read a lot of before Islam, before 600 BC history. A lot of those oral stories and written things, the white man could come there by himself and just walk unencumbered. And everybody's amazed at how he looks, the friar tuck fat guy or whatever, skinny guy, doesn't matter. Another black person comes from another region, oh, we got to get you. We got to get you on the strength. And when you got that type of mentality where outsiders don't even look at you they don't even know what your tribe is because they don't respect it. You respect tribe. You say, well, I'm from here and I'm from there. You wasn't even invited to the Berlin Conference. So, I'd say all that to say that people use these religions, and I'm not going to crap on one religion. I'll just say much of African history has been burnt up because people call it against God. Much of, even before Islam was created, the birth of Muhammad was 570 BC. Even during 200 BC, that's when they were calling Africa the Dark Ages and what have you. Queen Europa, please go look up Queen Europa when you have time. Allegedly who Europe is named after, a very dark-skinned lady. So I say all this stuff to say that, Donovan, in the mention of Africa, the people don't realize that they're all Bantu. They've allowed me and Donovan to come from Iraq. This is one tribe specifically I'm not going to name. Me and Donovan come from Iraq. We capture a couple of Igbo people and we tell them, your name is now Donovan. You are the Donovan tribe. And now I need for you to go out and capture some more children. And I'm going to give them the same type of opportunity to be part of the Donovan tribe. 5 years later, you're up here capturing people, selling them to the Portuguese, and you're the feared Donovan tribe. That tribe came out of clear blue sky. Ain't nothing African about it. So I just find this unfortunate, and I'm glad that more Africans are willing to have these discussions without anger. And I'm glad that we as Americans are willing to realize that we need to be more international and more selfish. I don't care if Demetria doesn't understand how to do the job I know how to do. I'm going to on-the-job train her because she's part of my people. I'm going to pull her in. We got away from that, and now people are suffering. So when it comes to this lady making this move, or any black man making a move, we got to stop thinking like we on an island, because these other groups are going to form like Voltron. Let me say it one more time. These other groups are going to form like Voltron, and they can care less about your money. They will take it from you, and you'll be begging to get back on the plane.
100%. So y'all have any closing words before we get out of here?
Yeah,
hey, I just want to thank you. I just want to thank you for letting me come up here, and it was great talking to you, cutting it up with everybody here. I think I'm subscribed to your channel.
Sela Trey, Mr. Research.
Mr. Research, yeah, I'm subscribed to his channel. And thank you very much. And it's been a very interesting conversation.
Yes, indeed, Mr. Pirate Brain. Thank you. And come back and see us again. We enjoyed your company.
All right. All right.
Sela Trey, you got any closing words?
Yeah, I'm just glad you guys had the courage to bring up some of your fans and, politic with them. And, I remember the days Donovan used to just hit us with uppercuts. And I said, man, these people don't understand what you got to know politics. They don't have no clue. Donovan talking Klingon to these people. So I'm glad you letting regular peasants from the kingdom come up to explain what a battle axe is. So that type of thing. And hey, you guys, these two people are too humble to say it, but donate. Come up off that $2, that $1.99. Encourage them to get a marketing team. Help. You enjoyed the show. You learned something. You laughed a little bit. Like I say on my page, donate. Pass that collection plate. All right, there you guys.
You know what, Mr. Research, oops, is that me? We love and appreciate you for coming on, and as always, giving us lots of things to think about and wisdom and knowledge. Please come back, and you all in the chat, please subscribe to Mr. Research here on YouTube so y'all can get some more of that good knowledge, please, and thank you so much. Donovan, you got anything to say in closing?
Well, again, we're going to be back on Tuesday, one recorded show, one live show. And what I want to talk about Tuesday is the Nick Fuentes situation with our sisters kissing and twerking up on Mr. Fuentes. Zaddy's in the house. You guys, it's going to be a good topic, I think. We're going to talk about it for 20, 30 minutes maybe, and then see what you guys think. But it was a great show. Always in the chat. As you guys see, and I know you guys have been watching, Demetra kind of stays with the live side of it. I try to get into the chat to make sure you guys, your opinions are out there, because not everybody wants to show their face or show their avatar up there. But again, we got some intelligent co-hosts, Demetra. I cannot be more impressed. They keep me in check more so than you do. And, tune in with us again next week, 3 p.m., same time, same channel.
Yes, indeed. So again, we will be back live on Tuesday. I want to say this in closing. I just think that we as Black people should start really using emotional intelligence. I always ask myself, well, most of the time, because I'm human, right? What is it going to cost me? We really have to ask. And sometimes you only have a split second to ask yourself, what is it going to cost me if I turn up? What is it going to cost me if I behave this way? Is it going to cost me money, time, a relationship, or my life, my freedom? What is it going to cost me? And then when you count the cost, you say, do I want to pay it? And more than likely, you're going to come up with no. So then you have to say, how do I avoid what I really want to do, but I shouldn't do? And sometimes you have to say it's just not worth it. Again, me being quiet does not mean that I am wrong. It just means that I'm going to humble myself, because really in whatever situation it is, what am I going to get for being right? What am I going to get? Let's take the sister Tierra over there in Dubai who's sitting in jail, now wondering if she's going to get out. Do, the United States diplomats, anybody care enough to even, raise the roof? Does she have the status of a Brittany Griner? No, she don't. Yeah, she's a TikTok star from what they say. She's an influencer, truck driver. She means something to those people. I never heard of her. Not that I'm anybody, right? But the point that I'm making is I don't think she has that type of status to where Biden is going to, get Kamala in the Oval Office and say, hey there, we've got this negress in Dubai, a jail for yelling at people. And one thing, and I'm glad somebody else said it too. Quanell X, God love him, right? He's out there helping everybody, but it's like, come on, brother. He said, well, the men and women in that country, they should have the same rights. And it's like, you a Muslim? Not saying that, women don't have the same rights, but I'm saying you at least should know how they act and want their women to act, whether we agree with it or not, in those countries. So sitting up there on the news saying they should, that we ain't dealing with should they, we're dealing with what is. And I get he's trying to help her raise awareness to get her out, but if and when that young lady comes home, along with the services that he is rendering to them, he should say, you know what? Learn when to button your mouth. Because the next time you may not be so fortunate to get out. Now, I will say this. I hope that she does not get sentenced to any time. I hope they kick her out, give her a passport and say, do not come back here, right? I hope that's what they do, because I just would hate to see anybody do jail time for that. But, and I'm speaking to us as women, okay? Sometimes we do a lot and it don't take all of that, right? Sometimes we have to say, I don't like it. I disagree. He or she is horrible. But you got to say that in your head. Don't let it come out your mouth. Because those y'all who follow the Bible, and I'm paraphrasing the scripture, says a woman has the ability to tear down her household with both hands, right? And the things that she says. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because we know some of us sisters, we get you with the razor blades and lemon juice on the right day, right? We could, as my best friend's mom would say, we'll cut you from a-hole to appetite with our tongue, right? We can be pretty vicious. But sometimes you have to say, I'm going to grant him grace. I'm going to give him some mercy, and I'm going to shut my mouth, okay? I'm just saying. So we love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Please come back and see us again Tuesday live, and then we'll have our podcast that's not live on Tuesday. And y'all enjoy the rest of your evening, and most definitely
hydrate. Jeez.
And most definitely stay out of jail, especially in Dubai. See y'all. Peace.